Hello and welcome back. In this video, I just want to briefly go over a few more features available, specifically having to do with how students share their work with you as a teacher, how they can collaborate with one another on projects, and how you can monitor and give them feedback when their projects have been shared with you. So of course, we are on the landing page. You can see here that all of my projects are here. If I take my cursor and I move it over to these check marks, I can create what's called a to-do list for myself. This is just an option for students who might want to utilize this feature to keep themselves organized, to map out the different tasks, to confirm the timeline of their project and due dates. So again, this is just an option. But the cool thing is when they go to share their project with you, you can see their to-do list. And so you can support them in this kind of self-management around organizing their research. So that's one feature that's available. I'm going to move over here to the right under sharing. It looks blank, but as soon as I bring my cursor down, this adding sign comes up. So there's really two features here that will be of interest. First of all, I want to share my Alaska project with my teacher who already has an inbox set up for state reports. So as a teacher, you'll want to pick a name for your inbox that's easy for your students to enter, because right here where it says share with the teacher's inbox, they'll click on this plus share and they will type it in, the name, exactly as you give it to them, and it'll auto-populate at that point. If you teach middle school or high school and you have multiple periods or sections of a class, I recommend that you identify the period number in the project inbox name so that it's easy for you to distinguish with other projects. It's totally up to you, but that might be one way to keep yourself organized when reviewing student work. And just underneath that, this is the feature that allows students to collaborate with each other. So in other words, their research is not limited to individual work. If you have students gathering multiple sources for an assignment that they're doing in pairs or small groups, they can go in and they can add each other as collaborators. Again, when they go to share the project with you in your inbox, you will be able to monitor the work of all the students participating, see who's in charge of what task, who's doing what, when have they logged in, that sort of thing. This last box here about public view is one that we generally don't use in the K-12 environment. It is possible to create a public access if you wanted outside entities to see the work. I don't think it's going to be very useful for us. If you're curious, reach out and we can dig into that together. So that's the basics around sharing an inbox and collaboration. The last thing I want to point out to you, I'm going to move over here to the left and click on inboxes. So if you've seen prior videos in this series, then you know these are the kind of like drive folders where students can share work with you as the teacher. Here is the inbox or folder, if you will, for animal reports that I've set up. If I click on this plus sign, I'm able to see that two students have shared their projects with me. We have a seahorse report and a dog report. They're both pretty new. Neither of them actually have sources or note cards yet. I go to see if there's any to-dos have been established, and I don't see any. So that tells me that this student, Amanda, has not created a to-do list yet. However, if I click on comments, I can see that here's a comment that I have already sent to her, letting her know that I looked at her topic and that I'm curious about the kinds of sources that she's thinking about using. So that's a comment that I've already made. I also have the option to make a comment to everybody in this class or this folder. So I'm going to go ahead and collapse that and move over here to the right. This menu gives you a few different features. So again, just for those students who've shared animal reports with me, I have the option to broadcast a message to everybody. So if you know the comment you're going to make is something that every student should read, this is the way to go. You can put your comment, writing prompt, or question in here. You can also tag below. You can require a response. And if this is the kind of comment that you expect to be making, say, to different classes, or that you'll be making again for later projects, you might choose to also save it in your comment bank so you don't have to type it out again. Again, broadcasting is going to go to everybody who has shared with you. Please make a note that at this time it would only go to 2 people who've shared so far. So it's important that you make sure all your students share their reports with you early in the process before using that feature. So finally, as mentioned in a prior video, if I were to click on comments, and there was something available for me to read, there would be a little notification symbol here, meaning that one of my students has responded to me or asked me a question. In this case, I don't have any new comments to review, so clicking on it doesn't take me anywhere. But that will be the quick way for you to know when you log in if there's a comment or question that you need to attend to. It'll be right here, very visible for you. So that wraps up the basics of sharing and collaboration with NoodleTools. If you have